All right, back with another reaction. We are going to be reacting to Destin's PS6 and the next Xbox could be delayed. Here's why I'm glad. Um, we all know the AI shit has been jacking up the prices for RAM. So, see what he has to say.
It sounds like next generation consoles are going to be delayed a little bit longer than we might have originally anticipated. Why might that be? AI and the raising cost of RAM.
Yeah, let's see what Destin has to say.
So, if you haven't heard, the price of RAM has just been going up astronomically. And the reason that is happening is because AI requires a lot of RAM to work. Now, this is impacting everything. It's impacting PC component prices. And guess what? Consoles also use PC components like RAM. Now,
But to me, it's so crazy. It just how quickly the prices shot up. Like it was like one day. I think I'm too loud. I'm sorry. It was like one day. It was like, hey, this is like 400. I'm not a big PC guy. I'm just like, for say like they said an example. Like it was like, oh, it's $400 for this RAM price for this RAM component, and then the very next day it was $5,000. Like how quickly it became expensive is crazy.
Xbox, we're looking at next generation consoles to reevaluate their position and launch timing for these next generation pieces of hardware. From what
Oh
we've heard,
shit.
the industry as a whole is concerned about RAM availability, as they should be, and what that is going to mean for mass producing consoles at a competitive price point, not only for the next generation, but it could also mean that yet more price increases for current generation consoles will hit us in 2026. That is via
Damn.
Insider Gaming.
Yeah.
Now,
Because I was thinking like because of these like RAM price increases that that people will come back to consoles, but it's gonna affect the current consoles too because they're gonna have to make more, especially for like the PlayStation. They have to make more, but they're going to pay more for that RAM chip. So
the problem with all that is it's not just RAM. It's probably going to impact other components, and that is going to mean an
ooh,
overall negative effect on the entire industry. Everybody's been focused on the ethical and moral implications of generative AI. And it's not really till it starts hitting you in the pocketbook that people start saying, oh, okay, well, maybe we need to pump the brakes on this aspect of this tool that a lot of
yeah.
people have been using. Now there have been some other reports out there. Paul Tassi sort of talked about this one a little bit. He said there are two main industry issues this causes. With these consoles years away, this could mean further price hikes for current gen hardware. Sony has already upped prices once, Xbox twice. Now we're in a situation where a PS5 costs more than it did at launch 5 years ago in an industry where prices are supposed to go down in time.
Yeah.
Microsoft, meanwhile, has now had to increase the prices of a console like the 2 terabyte Xbox Series X to an eye popping $800. That price and others contributing to Xbox hardware sales falling off a cliff. Nintendo has thus far avoided price hikes on its new Switch 2, though it launched at $450, far above the $300 of the original Switch. The Switch one recently saw a 10% price increase itself. Then the
Increase the price
obvious
of the
next step,
Switch.
if these current consoles cost this much, what on earth are we talking about as a price for next gen consoles? PlayStation 6 or the next Xbox? These would be consoles that launch at what? $800 to $1,000. I got to be honest, I think that Paul is woefully underestimating what to expect in terms of price on these next
He's not
generation
wrong. I was
pieces of
thinking the same
hardware.
thing. I was like,
And more than the equivalent
that's
of
cheap.
that in other regions. And without RAM relief and price cuts, even that may turn out to be a big loss for these companies. Those price estimates could be low. Yep, they probably are low, especially when you look at what these companies have been investing in. What has Xbox been
AI.
investing in? What have they said is the
Microsoft has been
future?
investing
What is
heavily in
Nvidia
AI,
talking about? Well, uh,
which is why they had all those layoffs earlier, during the summer of last year, um, because of fucking AI. Now look at God, this bad. They have to be seeing something that we don't with all this AI stuff. There's just no way that all of these tech groups are investing into AI. Like there's something there that we're just not seeing. I feel like, or maybe we are seeing it and they're just dumb. That it could also be a possibility.
timely enough, GeForce Now is now applying a 100-hour monthly gameplay limit to nearly all paid subscribers. Extra time
Was
will
that
be
always there or
charged
no?
at the performance tier $2.99 per 15 hours and the ultimate tier $5.99 per 15 hours. And this is a time when Xbox Game Pass has gone up to $30 a month. We have
Yep.
seen the console prices increase, and all in all, my hot take on this whole situation is I think that the current consoles are quite powerful. We have had some amazing looking games graphically. We have
True.
had some amazing looking games in terms of what pixels these things are able to push. So I think everyone should delay next gen consoles until all of this gets sorted out, because the alternative is going to be these weird cloud-based situations where you're paying per hour played versus paying for physical hardware, because it will become a luxury for many.
Is that what they're trying to
Marcelo
do? Is that why
responded to
they've
my
invested
tweet.
in
I
AI
said,
to
everyone should
make
delay
that?
next gen consoles, in my opinion. The current gen is more than capable. Marcelo said, maybe, just maybe, devs will start to really use current hardware and
And optimize.
optimize.
Yeah.
If you look at what Doom the Dark Ages was able to accomplish in terms of optimization, it really shows just how little is actually being done by a lot of the developers, and the forgotten art of optimization that was once required to make great games.
Yeah.
Optimization just goes out the window most of the time. Monster Hunter, as a great example on PC, it is so poorly optimized. It is
Yeah.
regarded as one of the worst PC ports of all time. And then there's companies like id Software who greatly optimize and have had huge success offering different options for console players and different options for PC players on widely different types of machines that have been released over the years. Mumblefly said, agree completely. This is good news. D said, this new consoles shouldn't come out until 2028. We've barely been able to tap the potential of the current generation. PS5 Pro is a very decent machine, and when games are properly optimized for it, as he said, it can outperform a PC. PS4 and
Oh,
Xbox
really?
One got way more games than they should have, though. Yeah,
True.
there's
That is
still
true.
games being developed for the PlayStation 4 console
Yeah. Marvel Rivals
and
went to
the
PS4. Like, what the?
PlayStation, or sorry, the Xbox OG platform from last generation. We haven't, I feel like we haven't even really hit the ground running in terms of what this generation of consoles are even capable of. Yoshi Cookie says, agreed, PS6 will look the same graphically. Look at the jump. Go look at a graphics comparison comparing
Mm-hmm.
God of War Ragnarok to from PS4 to PS5. Look, if you haven't invested the money in a good television or a good monitor to play your games, you're not even getting the full benefits of the PlayStation 5 for a lot of games. It's only been recently where they have actually started developing exclusively for the PlayStation 5. Hell, even my detractors, Oliver Darko, agreed with me. This guy roasts me all the time. He said Destin nails it. Games like Hellblade 2 and Death Stranding 2 are great graphical milestones, but current gen
True.
still has
Yeah.
enough
Hellblade is a
juice.
really good,
Have
very
you
good looking
played
game.
Death Stranding 2? That game is gorgeous. It's phenomenal. It
But
runs
that's since
smooth.
Kojima's a
It
fucking
looks
goat.
great.
So
That's what happens when you have a team that is focused on optimizing and making the games look and play the best they possibly can on current gen hardware. Will said,
Mm-hmm.
keep current gen standard for 10 years, focus on quality of games,
Yeah.
and building healthy studios again. A
That is true. That is true. Optimization is a lost art. It is. Uh, but yeah, you do need, because like we're only what 6 years into this generation's life cycle, and yeah, and the fact that for the first really first what 3 to 4 years there were games still being made for the Xbox One and the PS4. It's like now we're just now getting current gen games, and then already they want to make the PS5 or the PS6 and the next Xbox. These are very good consoles. Even the Xbox Series S, yes, it is good console. Um, but yes, but like they just they need to focus on optimization. Like I don't know why developers gotten lazy. I feel like, and that's probably because of how powerful these consoles really are. To the fact that you don't have to optimize as much as you used to, so they just feel like they just didn't need to. But like, bro, you gotta keep optimizing. You gotta keep optimizing because when you do that, I mean, remember Baldur's Gate and how they found out like how to reduce like the amount of RAM that was taken up for like all the consoles, even the PC port, because they were optimizing. Just like that can happen. I mean, like, but yeah, I mean, like Hellblade and Death Stranding 2 are great looking games, especially Hellblade. That's such a good looking game, and it came out on the Xbox Series X and S, and it's also coming to PlayStation, I think, later this year.
big
So if it
problem
can run on
has
the Xbox
been
Series
there has
S,
not
because how many
been
people hate
a
it,
investment in
then
talent,
any
and
game
studios
can be
are
optimized to run on that console.
currently scattered to the wind. The BioWare that we grew up knowing and loving is separated 15 different ways. The Bungie has been torn apart by layoffs that we knew, and it's just all over the place. And a lot of it has been due to corporate greed at a lot of these
Yeah,
larger companies. Like, look at the last Call of Duty. They're talking about not doing another Call of Duty. It's really time to just pump the brakes, figure out why people love gaming again, because it sure as hell is not microtransactions and whatever you're trying to do by cramming in all of this weird stuff. And we have so many great games. Look, there's this whole rumor that Starfield's going to have a big update. There's a ton of potential there. And that's my take on it. We don't need next gen consoles. We need people
yeah,
focusing on the hardware we currently have and the mid gen specs we currently have, optimizing games better and making great games. Anyway, that's my take on the situation. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, turn on my content goes
I
live.
agree,
Thank you
Destin.
so much for watching. Thanks so much
Go.
to the members, Christopher Eddy, Philaroni, and Aries EMS. I do greatly appreciate you. I got to get out of here, but check out my last videos I recorded over the break about some of these games that are coming out. Basically, Exodus is the next mass.
Yeah, no, he's right. He's right. We don't need next gen consoles anytime soon. I think 2028 is still too early. I say we don't need next gen consoles till like 2035. That probably be my take. That be 10 years at least of games being made solely for these consoles. When these consoles came out, 4 years was 4 years of their lifespan. Games are still being made for the PS4 and Xbox One. So yeah. So I'm this RAM shit might be a blessing in disguise. Who knows? Anyway, that's all I got. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
I'm in the whip with authority, looking like Sky Bree, she got a body, ayy. And she been calling me daddy lately, want me to put her in Cartier's, and the bitch deserve it. Put in work for the money, she earn it. Give me top every night, lip service. Now I gotta block these hoes, she worth it. I'm out in Abu Dhabi with a bad bitch.